I wanted to start my video a little bit ago, but someone doesn't let me. So before we start, I'm just going to introduce you to Tito. Say hi, Tito. He's 11 years old. He's a little grandpa. He has no filter, excuse my language. So say sorry if you hear me bark. Oh, now you don't know who we're talking about? So yeah. So this is Tito. He's the loud one. And then we have Zoe. She needs another bath, but those are my two dogs. So I apologize prior to even starting this because you're gonna be listening to them and I get frustrated at times and I'll edit it out, but just wanted to let you guys know. Okay, Miss Zoe, maybe she wants to sit here with me. Okay, I'm just gonna welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Alejandra Tinoco. Thanks for watching, first of all. If you want to see more videos of upcoming uploads that I'm going to be doing, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you want to comment on anything, if you feel like there's certain things I need to change or I could add, let me know. Also follow me on IG, Alejandra Tinoco Moi. That's actually why I put that up there. And or my Snapchat, Ale Tinoco, my last name I'll put it up there, whatever. Tinoco21. You can follow me there too to watch my snaps. I kind of snap a lot. I don't have a lot of followers yet. No, but that's okay. I mean, it's not like I care. I'm just very myself. So guys, yeah, that's so let's get started. Right now I don't have anything on my face. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some Natural Radiance primer. I'm gonna go ahead and put 3 pumps of it just because I feel a little bit dry all over my skin. I'm doing it with my hands, but if it was someone else, like obviously, like I wouldn't do it with my hands. I also did wash my hands because I was touching my dogs earlier. Like I said, I'm sorry, but you know, they're just part of my journey, my little doggies. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Give it like a minute or two while we get everything set up. Well, I already kind of set everything up. What am I talking about? So should I start with eyes? Should I start with skin? I'm not really gonna do anything crazy with my eyes, so I think I'm gonna start with my skin today. Plus it's super, like a lot faster. So I'm gonna go ahead and use Prolong Wear foundation. I use NC30 5. I should be using 30 just because I got lighter. I don't know why I thought it was a lighter color. And then I'm just gonna put it all over my skin. I like this foundation because I know for a fact I'm gonna be wearing it all day. I know that for some people it doesn't have enough coverage, but you can always layer it. Just let it set for a while and layer it. I absolutely fell in love with it when I worked at MAC. It's my all-time favorite. I just have to prime my skin really well. That's why I put an extra pump just to make sure that like my skin's gonna be okay. Plus I'm a little bit more on the drier side, so that's why I didn't really hydrate too much. Or like, what was I trying to say? not hydrate, but like put too much underneath because this foundation already stays on well without like too much help. So I just like to pat it on everywhere. I am new to this, so I know that with time I'll get better. It's kind of intimidating for some reason today. I think because I had already filmed one for the first video I did, but I accidentally deleted like the edited version, and I think, you know, sometimes things happen for a reason. Like I literally spent like 3 hours on it doing it. Okay, so I went ahead and patted it all. I'm using a Real Technique sponge. I love these just because they're so inexpensive and they work just like a beauty blender. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the porcelain color. I like to highlight with this. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna use the Tarte, but we will see. I just kind of like to, you know, squeeze out, just put a good amount. This is a more natural look, so I think I'm just gonna stick to this. I was gonna add a little bit of the Tarte concealer, but I like the fact that this one, it doesn't really have that brightness. You can also use like the LA Girl corrector underneath. I don't necessarily deal with bags, so I don't really like use a lot of those, which I'm very fortunate, but just wanted to give you an example of something you can use if you have more of a purple under eye. I'm just gonna use the other side of this sponge. Whoa, I almost forgot what it was called. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just tap it away. Tap, tap, tap. Tapping motion. With that, you can just like kind of build the product and not like swipe it away. Because when you, I guess that's what you call it, swipe, you're gonna take off the product. Maybe for this one, you could put a little bit of water, I guess. Right now that I'm feeling it. You can also use a smaller sponge. It probably works better. I just kind of try to minimize what I use. Like I said, bear with me, bear with me. It's all a learning lesson, you know, and you guys can learn from me. It's taken me a lot of time to actually get the balls to actually go ahead and film, just because I haven't been super confident. I grew up really shy, actually. I actually became an extrovert when I started working at MAC. And I remember that I never even thought I would work for them, like, because, you know, MAC back in the day was like everything. It was like the brand of makeup. Like when I started MAC, people were still like being rude to us because we wore makeup. Like people always talked so much crap all the time. Why do you wear makeup? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Like it was so annoying. Like I'm not gonna lie, because I always, like, for me, makeup is art. I grew up doing art, and I loved it. It was like my little like hobby, something that like kind of made me like detach from the world. So once I found out makeup existed, that was like my thing, and I just kind of latched onto it. Plus I was so insecure. I still have some insecurities, obviously. It's still working on those, but it just became something of mine, like my personal little thing that I was good at, you know, that I could do really well compared to other people. And I never even saw it as something that I would do later on as a career. I just saw it as something that like I was good at. I'm just gonna go ahead and bake while I'm telling you the story. I'm gonna use the Revolution Luxury Baking Powder and Lace. I just bought it at Ulta. It's super cheap. But like I was saying, like I never even thought I was gonna be doing it as a career. I've always been very kind of rebellious towards my mom and stuff. Or at least that's what she says. I don't think I was, but according to her, I was her rebel child. I literally like love doing makeup, but everybody was like, oh, Alejandra, that's all she's good at, like she's gonna get older and just do makeup. And I was like, no, like I don't want to do that. Like everybody thinks, I don't know why I've always been like that. Like people are like telling me like, oh, she's gonna be this, she's gonna be that, and I hated people like telling me what I was gonna do or whatnot. So I've always like kind of been against it. So for a while I was like kind of against like makeup, but literally like a huge part of it, which people didn't know, was that I couldn't afford it. I wasn't going to be able to afford to go to school for it. And at the time, I am a DACA student, actually. So basically, I wasn't born here. My parents brought me when I was 4, and then I turned 5 here. So at the time, obviously, there was no DACA when I was younger. So the thought of me going to beauty school and like getting licensed and all of that was not I wasn't capable of doing. And even though I say rebellious, I think I said that just because I put it in my head all the time like the story, like, oh, I'm not gonna do makeup because, you know, like that's what everybody says, and you know, I got so used to it. But the reality was, I knew that I wouldn't be able to go to school for it, get financial aid, and then even get my license to do it. So I didn't go forward with it. Not till I think I got my work permit when I was, how old was I? I think I was 19, because I started, no. Dude, that sounds so wrong. I don't know why. Okay, point is, I got my DACA status when I had already been in college for, I want to say, almost 2 years. And at the time, I was a nanny. And because I was working at Subway, actually, for a really, really long time. For 2 years, because that was like the only job I could have since of my status or whatever. And it was in the right way, and I know that's probably not, sorry, I just dropped stuff, something people want to hear, but that's my story. Like that, unfortunately, that's the only job I could have, working minimum wage and going to school, just trying to pay my bills and stuff. And that's what I had to do. Like, I had to work there because that's the job I could have at the time. And then once, I'm losing track. This is why I'm so bad at these, because I lose track. Point is, I ended up like not wanting to go to school because of that. And then I ended up being a nanny. And then when I was a nanny, I started making so much money that I started actually going to, oh no, it broke. I'm gonna need a new one. I'll figure it out in a bit. I started going to these girls at this mall that by where I worked, because I worked in Tiburon, which was like a really wealthy area for like families and stuff. So every Friday I would go there and I would go buy makeup at MAC, and I like never did I ever like think like, oh, I'm gonna be working there. But I was just like, you know, going there every Friday, spending money, because luckily at the time I was, you know, making money since I had gotten my work permit. I could work like excess or like work a better job or whatever. I think I was still in school, or I had taken a break. I can't remember. Point is, I was thinking like, well, I need something like secure. I need something that that I can do when I'm gonna contour right now, just with the brush and angle. While I go to school, or like while I get my education. And I would remember asking the girls at the MAC counter, and I was like, like, what do you guys think of me going to beauty school? Because I had seen one, and it was like, I want to say like almost 20 grand just to go in the city. And I was like already kind of dreading like even thinking about paying for school. But I was like, if I go to school, like I'll be able to like do makeup, blah blah blah. At that point I really wanted to pursue it. And I remember they were like telling me, they're like, why would you want to go there? They're like, why don't you just apply at MAC, and you know, we teach you the same things, you get a paid training and stuff. And I just like was like, what, like me? I was like, no, because I was so shy. And I remember the manager at the time, I created such a great relationship with her that she made me feel confident about it. So I ended up going, and then I got the job. And then I remember I was so shy. I was so fucking frightened like my first day. I remember the best advice, and I think I said it on one of my snaps. I'm like, I remember the first day I stepped on the tile, and it was Saturday or Friday, I can't remember, but it was so busy. And I was like, oh my God. And they're like, I'm trying to just do the register, like doing the basic stuff. And then they're like, oh, today you're gonna do your first makeover. And I was like, oh, like wanted I. And then they're like, yeah, it's gonna be your first client. And I was like, no, like I can't do it. And they're like, no, you can do it. They were like super encouraging. They're like, and like the best advice I ever got is like, just do it. Just fake it. Just pretend that you know what you're doing. Just do it. They're not even gonna notice. Like, and I was like, oh my God, can I even do this? Like, I was freaking out. And I remember that like I remember the girl that I did her makeup, and they were so picky because they ended up coming like a year later to the thing, and I ended up helping them, and I think I did it fine and stuff. And I remember that was like my first intro to makeup, and I was like like I did it, like I'm good, like I'm not like a failure at this. Like I was so like proud, but so like, oh my god, shocked that I had done that. And then just working with them, like they teach you so much, and honestly I love that company for what they taught me, and like the confidence they created in me, and just like making me more of an extrovert and not so shy that you know, it made me who I am today too. Like that's a huge part of why I am how I am. I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows. I'm gonna use this wax pencil from MAC. It's a big brow pencil. I like it in Spike, or like, well, that's the color I would use from them. But I've had this one. I like to use it just for the wax part, and then I like to use Prune Color to fix it, or like give it more depth. So it's kind of almost like the Benefit Duo one with the wax and the color. So I mean, you can use anything for your brows. I usually like to start off with the bottom and then go start with a darker on the outside and then in the middle, so you guys can see. But yeah, so that was like my little story of how he started. I don't know if it all makes sense. I'll figure it out. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. After, so I like to just go ahead and brush it all over my brows, and you see it's not like heavy or anything. I'm gonna take an angled brush. It's 266 brush from MAC. And I'm just gonna grab the color in Prune. I like using their pencils. I just don't have the color for my brows, and that's why I don't do it. But this Prune color works perfectly, so it's like, why am I gonna go buy something at this moment when I have something that works really well with my brows? So I'm just gonna go ahead and go underneath. And I know this isn't really like a step-by-step like video, and I apologize. I just kind of wanted to give you like also a little background of my like makeup like history, or like how I got into makeup. But I promise you guys that I can give you something more in depth in the future. You guys let me know, and I can give you any sort of advice or anything on any products, or if you have any questions, or what kind of video you guys want me to do. Like I said, I'm new to this, so I'm just kind of going with the flow. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of who I am and why you guys should even watch me. Like, because it's like, why am I just gonna watch this person? Like, I don't know, like she might do her makeup okay, but doesn't mean that she can do it to other people. But yes, I do have the background in makeup. Unfortunately, I kind of diverted, or what's the word, like, yeah, like went away from it for a little while, just because of the job I was working, the hours I was working, and just, you know, needed a break to kind of find that passion for it again. I guess that's the best way I could say it, because I adore makeup. I love it. Like, makeup was my escape growing up. Like, makeup like was something like that when I was the most, like, I went through a lot of stuff, and I think I'll probably like talk about it later, but I dealt with a lot of like bad trauma in my life and stuff, and makeup was something that, you know, helped me kind of forget for that moment, or for the time being of doing my makeup, what I was going through, you know. And it was a positive thing. It was my little thing, my hobby, something that made me feel better. I was a very insecure little girl. Makeup helped me feel beautiful. I remember when I worked at MAC, that was one of the things. It's like one of my biggest, you know, rewards was like when I would make people feel like beautiful. Like, because I feel like as women, like, and especially like in our Latin background, like we're put last a lot of the time. for like, I guess, the old school and being a first generation, I guess, immigrant in the US. I don't know how to say it because my kids will be first generation, never mind. So like being an immigrant in this country and still trying to figure out your way from who you really are when you don't feel like you belong here, but you don't feel like you belong over there. And, you know, still having your parents that have like values from over there. So it's tricky, like growing up and, you know, trying to find your own identity of like where you belong. And I feel like makeup allowed me to kind of, you know, give myself a name. Like, you know, for a long time, like when I did work at MAC, and I speak a lot about it because obviously it was such a big part of my life. You know, I had that title of Alejandra, the girl from MAC, you know, and even when I left the company, it was really hard for me because I had to find this identity of who am I, like, aside from MAC, aside from makeup. And, you know, I think I try to go away from it so much that in a way it kind of backfired because it's like, this is who I am. Maybe like the company wise, it's not, but this is who I am. Like, makeup is me. Like, I'm good at it. Like, I should embrace it. But I think like it was so hard for me to kind of get that through my head. I was gonna use one product, but I don't want to overly use too many products. So what I think I'm gonna do is, since I'm gonna use this for my brows, for my lids, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that and then fix the bottom of my brows. So I think, you know, our experiences in our lives, they mold us to be who we are. And, you know, I can't take credit for, you know, saying, oh, it's all me. No, a lot of people influenced me. A lot of great people came into my life that, you know, kind of redirected my life because, you know, I never really had, my parents pushed me to do much. My mom never really thought like to push me a lot. And I know that this is a conversation, like, you know, it's a little hard to have while she's not on, like, present. But I think we had this conversation prior where it's like, I felt like my mom didn't really push me much because I was diagnosed with dyslexia when I was younger. And obviously they told her that I was gonna have a hard time, you know, focusing on school and like this. So I never had the same standards as my sister when it came to my academic stuff. That, you know, it did bother me. It bothered me a lot. And I think that's also an influence of why I didn't necessarily want to pursue makeup, because I wanted to pursue a career, like, and I'm still pursuing a career, but that's mostly because it's a goal of mine and stuff, and it has become something I want to do, not because of someone else. But I think a lot of it, like, a part of me wanted to not do that because, or like pursue makeup, because I knew in my heart and in my soul that there was more to me than makeup. Like, and I think that's now that I'm finding out. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the same one and underline. Then I wanted to pursue more, or something more, not just that. And you know, unfortunately my career path, or how I thought my life was gonna go, didn't go obviously like in a straight line. It still hasn't. I've dealt with a lot of like crazy stuff, a lot of, you know, self-doubt, like lack of motivation. You know, I also have dealt with a lot of depression and anxiety. I actually was diagnosed with PTSD, and I suffered with it for years, and I still do. I still have my moments, but I have gone better. And I think that's why starting this at this point in my life is such like a great moment in my life, because I know that the person I am now to the person I was in the past is a completely different Alejandra. Like, it's like that saying when people say like, oh, they say they know you, but it's like, just because you knew me like a year ago, 6 months ago, or like 5 years ago, like doesn't mean I'm the same person. Like, we all evolve, we all change, like we all experience different things in our lives that it's like it changes. It really does change our lives and our perspective and what we want. And so I'm gonna go ahead and use the Soft Glam palette by Anastasia. Sorry about it being messy, I tried to clean it. And I'm gonna use the light color, and I'm gonna use it all over my top lid. It has a little bit of shine to it. And I'm just using a 217, just because I have a lot of brushes, but sometimes I'm just like, I just clean a couple to do my makeup if they're not clean. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go in with this light orange. I'm gonna try to speed it up because I know I talk a lot and I apologize. But I just thought it would be fun to start off with a little intro of who I am, why I like makeup, why I'm doing this. I guess I've done that with the other one too, but mostly this one about makeup, like why this is an important thing. You know, I'm a big believer in like everything happens for a reason, and things always go, you know, like in order for you to either grow or like how would I say it, like things happen in your life and you can either take it a negative or you can take it as a positive. Like for me, it's like I recently stopped working. Sorry, I'm gonna take stiff, and then I'm gonna take a smaller brush, the 261, kind of like a smaller version of it, just to do it on my corner. Like I stopped working, and yeah, it could have been like, oh my god, like my job, like whatever, like, but honestly I saw it as an opportunity for me to like leave an environment that I was no longer happy in. Like, you know, like I had been debating quitting for a while. I did want to quit around this time. Like I literally said I was gonna quit last year at like around Christmas, and I never did. So like I stayed there. I started there May 2017, and I was like, oh, I'll stay there for like 3 months, figure out. But like the money was good. I worked at a casino as a cocktail server, and I stayed, and the benefits were great. You know, they have a lot of incentives, so I kind of got stuck. And then like I was still freelancing, doing makeup, and had my little clientele from like MAC and stuff, but I ended up losing it, unfortunately, because of the job, because they switched my schedule, and like unfortunately like I couldn't do it anymore. And I was making enough money to not even worry about having to work extra, you know. But you know, everything happens for a reason. So like now that I'm not working, I'm actually really happy. Like it was not necessarily like the best thing of how I left or whatever. And I woke up the next day and I was like, oh my god, like I did feel like a little bit upset. But then I was like, no, this is what you need for you to do your next thing. You want to do all these things. You've been pushing yourself to like become like a stronger person, like mentally, physically, or well, physically still in the works, but like I've been working so hard these last couple months to become a better person, not only as a like mentally, like for myself, but just like so that I can, you know, have a different perspective in life. And you know, leaving there, it's only been 2 weeks, but I know that it was the right thing. I'm just taking the same concealer and just putting it on there, just because I'm gonna put some, I just want it to be like super white, and I don't regret it. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the color and just put it underneath. Sorry, I didn't explain that. Like it's just not somewhere. Go ahead and use Feline. This one's from MAC. I really like it because you can smudge it. I guess I wasn't gonna do like a crazy, like I was gonna do a more subtle eye, but whatever. It's gonna be for the night anyways, too. So I'm just gonna go ahead and that. But, you know, this is something that I've been really, really wanting to do. So I'm happy to be here for you guys, and excited to see what I can produce and not take it too serious. And I think I had done a little bit of a video prior to this, and I felt like I was like, why am I even having like a little rubric? Like, that's not who I am. Like, when I Snapchat, I don't fucking have a rubric. I just speak my mind. Like, I speak about whatever the I want, and can't, if I'm like, I have to be myself. Like, I can't change. And I think that's like, you can't be unauthentic. You have to be authentic to who you are. And like, because it's like, I want you guys to not think I'm a fake person. I'm not doing this for like the likes. Yeah, it's cool, it's fun, but I'm doing this more just so I can have something of my own, like my own little personal thing. Because at this moment I don't have like my own company or my own thing, but this is mine, not something that someone's telling me like, oh, you need to do it like this or like that. Like, this is my little area of creating whatever the hell I want. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Kat Von D. I can't believe my dogs are being really good. So I'm just taking that same brush for under my brows and just cleaning up the under eye. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this color, my color, and use it as my blush. Basically, that's what it's gonna do. I know I make a funny face. I just like to spread it out. Anastasia highlighter. I don't know what the color of the blush was, I'm sorry, but it's something more orangey and it's a matte. This one's Anastasia, the Resi. Just like to do points. I know I'll get better throughout time. I feel like I lost kind of like my touch of makeup in a way, because I haven't been doing it in so like in depth and so long. I'm gonna take my favorite extended play mascara. And I like the brush for the bottom lashes. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and grab that gold from here, from the palette, the Fairy. Too much. I'm just gonna use the Jaclyn Hill palette because I like one of their highlighters in here. It's pretty. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this. Almost to the finish line, guys, so bear with me. I'm gonna use the NYX Professional Makeup series in London lip liner. I like it because it has that orangey tone. Take this one from MAC. A Girl's Got Needs. I think it was limited. I just like doing it. I don't know. It's very neutral color. Goes with anything. Just have it back. And I'm gonna take Morphe top Trippy. And ta-da! We are almost done. Take a little bit with my finger. Ooh. And I'm gonna take the spray. And I know I don't have, like, I used to have like the Fix Plus, but I ran out and I have that one. And it's not my favorite, but it still works. Like, so I'm just using it for now, the Urban Decay spray. But I know a lot of people really like it. For me, I like the other one because it's a little more, it has like that dewiness to it. But nothing, you know, whatever you can afford. I know I started off with like drugstore brands like Wet n Wild. That was my it. Like, I was known as the queen of liner in high school. Like, I was always the one with liner. I know that, like, I don't put as much nowadays, like wing liner. I think that's why I kind of lost it a little bit. But every day, wing liner and straight hair. Wing liner. So there it is, final look. I'll try to add the products on the side because I know I was talking a lot, but thank you guys so much for watching. Whoever ended to the end, I apologize for my smacking again. And my dogs were actually really good, so I'm really happy. So I'll have that little conversation with them prior. Just kidding, not kidding, because I always talk to my dogs. I'm that, you know, the crazy cat lady. I'm the crazy dog lady, I guess. I'm always yelling at them, but I love them. So at least you guys got to see them. They're my little babies, but this is what it is. Let me see, because last time I messed up. Yeah, like, this is why I did my hair. But thanks for watching.